and yet we are here again. My fellow New Hampshire residents are being manipulated by showmen and Trump wannabes to win our votes. Mr. Ramaswamy, you may be a millionaire, and you may know how to avoid paying taxes by incorporating companies in Bermuda, but let's talk about your lack of job qualifications. You're not qualified to become the principal of my children's school of only 1,000 students. You're not qualified to be the select board of my town with a population of 16,000 people. And you're definitely not qualified to run for the highest office of our nation to govern 330 million Americans. Spewing nonsensical, fast-talking, empty words, interspersed with name-dropping Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, should not be misconstrued as knowledgeable. We Americans should stop thinking that rich men who fund their campaigns and manipulate us into thinking that they're smart or savvy are qualified for the presidency, to receive the codes to launch nuclear weapons, and to become the commander-in-chief of our military forces. Yes, it's coming. Mr. Ramaswamy, if we American voters, thank you, it's coming.
We'll let her finish. We'll give her a chance to finish.
Thank you.
Watch this, because she is about to be destroyed.
And then we'll come back up front here.
Mr. Ramaswamy, thank you. You've expressed some illogical and dangerous positions just about everything under the sun, but I will only bring up a few points today.
Okay. Just be respectful of everyone, but we'll pick your favorite ones. Thank you.
Just a few years ago, we all saw firsthand the disastrous results when a ruthless capitalist, a scam artist, a showman, and a liar with no public service experience became the President of the United States. And yet we are here again. My fellow New Hampshire residents are being manipulated by showmen and Trump wannabes to win our votes. Mr. Ramaswamy, you may be a millionaire, and you may know how to avoid paying taxes by incorporating companies in Bermuda, but let's talk about your lack of job qualifications. You're not qualified to become the principal of my children's school of only 1,000 students. You're not qualified to be the select board of my town with a population of 16,000 people. And you're definitely not qualified to run for the highest office of our nation to govern 330 million Americans. Spewing nonsensical, fast-talking, empty words, interspersed with name-dropping Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, should not be misconstrued as knowledgeable. We Americans should stop thinking that rich men who fund their campaigns and manipulate us into thinking that they're smart or savvy are qualified for the presidency, to receive the codes to launch nuclear weapons, and to become the commander-in-chief of our military forces. Yes, it's coming. Mr. Ramaswamy, if we American voters, thank you, it's coming.
We'll let her finish. We'll give her a chance to finish.
Thank you.
It ends with a question mark, though.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, you will. If we American voters keep supporting self-promoting showmen who treat the U.S. presidency or vice presidency as an entry-level position, then we, the American people, are to blame for the destruction of our democratic institutions. Please, your thoughts, Don.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Before you answer.
I want to answer that, yeah.
I know you want to answer, and I want you to answer. But everyone, remember, everyone's in here at the same time. You can make your point, but get to the question first. Try to? Okay.
And hard questions are welcome. Just end them with the question mark is all I say. So here's what I will say. What do I hear embedded in that question? There's a fundamental skepticism of somebody who comes from outside and take as an entry-level job. That was what was in your question, which I think is a valid criticism. An entry-level job to be the U.S. president. Let me just share with you one of my learnings in this campaign. We have an imperfect system right now, and you all face imperfect choices in that system. We were talking about this backstage. What was the number one learning for me? This is a super PAC puppet game. It's my number one learning coming in from the outside. You're told that candidates actually run campaigns that you fund by giving $35 contributions. Nonsense. The system is funded by not multimillionaires, multi-billionaires who use politicians in both parties, Democrat and Republican Party, as their puppets. The super PACs are a cancer on our system. So if you want to break that system, and I'll tell you, it's a law of nature. It's like a law of physics. As the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, every politician dances to the tune of their biggest donor. It's just a fact. Now, in my case, it is true that biggest donor is me. Now, do I want a system in which only people who have had the level of success that I've had in the world of business and the American dream are the ones who are able to run for president? No. But is that better than a system where it's somebody else's billionaire puppet that's on that debate stage that actually is just uttering words handed to them by a billionaire-provided super PAC? Yes, I think that's better. And I think if we're going to address the corruption in Washington, D.C., the corruption of people, and there are other candidates in this race that fit this description, making millions of dollars off of connections in government service, afterwards, lobbying in a career using government connections. This is corruption that exists in both parties. Then yes, I do think it will take an outsider to that system coming in to break that system. One of the things that I think we need to stop apologizing for in this country is the power of capitalism. I have succeeded not in government, and I will not feign having government experience that I don't have. But the people who do have government experience, in some ways, got us into the mess that we're in today. So I think we live in a moment where it will take an outsider. Someone who comes from the outside, ideally even someone who comes from the next generation, to reach the next generation, of whom we have so many in this room today. I think it will take somebody whose best days, I hope, are still yet ahead in life, to see a country whose best days are still yet ahead in life. And I'm not name-dropping when I mention Thomas Jefferson. These are people I look up to as our founding fathers. He was 33 years old when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. I'm an old man by comparison. He invented the swivel chair while he was at it. That's the founding spirit we need to revive in this country. And in this particular moment, yes, I do think it will take an outsider to do it. Yes, I do think it will take an outsider to address our national debt. $33 trillion. We need a CEO in the White House. How does a CEO run a business? How have I run the businesses I've run? Zero-based budgeting. Don't start with last year's budget as the baseline, because last year's budget was broken by the same existing political class. And last year's budget was based on the previous year's budget, which was equally broken by the same corrupt special interest system. So I say break that system. Start with zero as the baseline, and then ask what's actually necessary. You're not going to get that type of leadership from somebody who comes from, I think, within that broken system. So you're right, you do face a choice. As I shared with Nancy earlier, if you want somebody who's going to incrementally reform the bureaucracy and the administrative state, I'm not your candidate. If you want somebody who has government experience as their qualification to be your next president, then I'm not your candidate. But if you want somebody who comes from the outside, a patriot who speaks the truth, uncaptured by the super PACs, willing to get in there and actually gut that shadow government, the corrupt swamp in Washington, D.C., but actually see the job through, as a leader from a different generation to reach the next generation, then yes, I am your candidate, and that is why I'm in this race. And the beauty of this is, A, you have the right to speak your mind, as does everybody else in this room. That's what makes America beautiful. That's what makes America great. And the part that really makes our system what it is that that choice belongs to you, not to me. And I'm grateful for the opportunity you guys have given us. So next question. Thank you.